Hello to all you diecast enthusiasts. Happy Sunday afternoon. I have a small little showcase here. Last night I just did the best of, or who did it best with the Toyota Land Cruiser. So we're going to look at some different import casting brands, which I've done this before on the channel, but I've added quite a few subscribers that are relatively new. So there was a point in time about 8 months ago where I was really heavily collecting import stuff. I have since moved on from a lot of it, but I did keep some of my favorite stuff. So this is a brand called Aoshima, which is primarily a 1 to 24 scale model kit brand, but they do have some 1 to 64 scale stuff. A lot of it, like this, is very custom, and I'm not into it a whole bunch, but they do have some castings that I like. This one here is one of my favorites. It's a Toyota Carina, and I just think it looks awesome. It's a metal body, plastic base, rubber tires with tread. You can see how simple the base is, just a real simple plastic base. But the car looks awesome. It's one of my favorites. Now these things are very, very nice, very well done. You do get lens headlights and tail lights. So it's a very nice quality. They do a lot of really cool cars, actually. They do the Nissan Laurel. They do the old Fairlady Z. They do a bunch of Skylines, whole bunch of Skylines. Ken Mary, Japan Skyline. I think they've done some Hakos. So they do a lot of cool stuff, but a lot of it is so customized that it's out of my... It's just not really my thing. But this one here is a pretty simple custom, just some aftermarket wheels. Obviously, it's slammed to the ground. Little bit of body work. I'm not sure if these fender flares are stock. I don't know what all the other customizing is that's done to it, just because I don't know that much about these cars, because they weren't ever available here in the U.S. So, but I really do like the look of this car. And then let's see here. Here's another brand. Let's see what year this is. Doesn't have the year, so I don't even know. I think it's an early 1970s model Toyota Celica GT, made by Konami. And this little casting also has lens headlights and taillights. This one has prototypical wheels, rubber tires with tread. The quality of work on these import cars is just amazing compared to what you get with American companies. Well, let's see. I got a few more here. These next two are from a more well-known brand. This one here I'll show first. This thing is awesome. I love this car. Little Mazda RX-7. This is made by Kyosho. This one, you have lens headlights. Really nice prototypical wheels. Good detail on these factory OEM Mazda wheels. And I think on the taillights, those are lensed as well. Just a very cool car. You can see they don't do much with the base. They use the plastic base, but it doesn't bother me because of all the extra detail that you get in the casting. I'd almost prefer all of the American premium brands like Auto World and Greenlight and everybody else. Use a plastic base, save your money on the base, and put all that money up into the detail of the car. So I do like this RX-7 a lot. Really nice little car. And then another Kyosho. This is one of my favorites. That quite possibly could be my favorite Skyline casting that they do. And it's not the very popular Skyline, although Hot Wheels just brought it out. And it's been a huge hit. It's been impossible to find. And this is the Skyline 2000 Turbo RSX. And this thing is just awesome. It's so nice. So this one also gives you lensed headlights and tail lights. Wow, we have a major focusing problem here. Really nice prototypical wheels again. Plastic base, rubber tires with tread, nice side view mirrors. It's a really nice roller. Kyosho are just like any other premium brand. Probably 1 out of every 8 or 10 of them doesn't roll. And I think I find that same ratio with M2, Greenlight, and Auto World. Although I do seem to be finding it less and less with Auto World. It used to be a pretty common thing with Auto World for me. But I wouldn't say it's any more or less. I would say it's about the same ratio. You'll get a Kyosho that doesn't want to roll. And then the last brand that I'm going to feature, probably the most well-known import diecast brand, is Tomica Limited Vintage. Now these do feature metal body, metal base, rubber tires with tread. These are actual true-to-scale cars, just like Auto World. Tomica Limited Vintage and Auto World are the only 2 diecast manufacturers that make that claim of being true to scale. And these cars are little works of art. They are some of the nicest, for sure. There you have an old Hakoska Skyline. Just a sweet little car. This car's been out with a handful of different colors, but I think I do like this color the best. And with the TLVs, you get lens headlights and taillights on these, on the vast majority of them. There are some that have painted headlights or taillights, but the vast majority are lensed on the front and the back. Really nice soft rubber tires. They really grip the road. They're not like the Greenlight rubber tires where it's a really hard plastic almost. And these cars have really nice suspension. Really smooth rollers. Real quiet. So this is a vintage Skyline from Tomica Limited Vintage. Most of their castings are vintage. However, they do have some more modern castings like this one here, which is just an Autotech R33. And if I were to do a video for nicest 1:64 scale replicas, and I might do that actually at some point, this car would definitely be in that video, and it would definitely be towards the top of the list. I'm sure Auto World probably has some cars that would make that list. Greenlight would probably even have a car or two. But this thing is so unbelievable. Metal body, metal base, rubber tires with tread. Now Kyosho did a two-door R33, the B&R Skyline, and I've got one of those in black, but I almost think this four-door looks better. TLV definitely did a better job on the casting. And check out these wheels. The detail on these wheels it's just incredible for the scale. Oh, my camera sucks, but you can see the rotor, and I think even the caliper behind the rim, and the rotor does not spin with the tire. So it's just, the detail is just, it's like very, very, very high quality. And that's why these cars are so expensive. These cars, when they come out, you can pick them up depending on the popularity of the casting. If it's a not so popular casting, you can probably find them in the US for $15 to $20 shipped. Now you're not going to find them in the US. You're going to find it online. You might find people. There are people that I know, the Toy Pimp being one of them, who import this stuff and then distribute it. So you can go that route, and even going that route, you're probably going to pay $15 to $20 for newer castings that are less popular. Now, Skylines tend to be some of the more popular castings, so they're going to sell closer to $25, and in some cases even higher than that. But the thing about TLV is, as their castings get old, if you go back 4 or 5 years to some of the Porsche 911 castings, or the old FJ40 Land Cruiser castings, the old civilian models, some of the old BMW or Mercedes castings, they're $100, $150 a car. And even after 6 months to a year, they could double in price. And like, I think this one, I haven't checked this one. Last time I looked, it was like 30, 35. But they just increase in value, and it's an expensive brand to collect. Let's just put it that way. But they really make nice stuff. These two Skylines being a perfect example. And I don't know if in the video the quality difference comes across from, say, like this Kyosho to this Tomica. But I guarantee you, if you were to pick both of these cars up, you would feel the quality difference. You would absolutely feel it, because this, when you pick it up, this is a nice car. It's a really nice car. It's really well done. But when you pick it up compared to when you pick this up, this one feels cheap. There's just a huge, huge quality difference. And that's kind of the same thing with like the Konami, which I think is another really nice, underrated brand. Really hard to find, though. Konami only made cars in this scale for, I think, only like 2 years, maybe 3 years, and they didn't make a whole ton of them. So they are pretty tough to find, and they can be pretty expensive too. But all of these brands would fit into what I would call the premium category. They're all definitely in the detailed category. And this type of stuff for me is fun to collect. I just wish that there were more 4x4 castings. These brands definitely fill a void in the market of import JDM diecast. None of the domestic companies were doing it until about 8 months ago, when M2 came out with the Auto Japan. Now Greenlight is coming out with the Tokyo Torque. Auto World doesn't seem to even care. I don't even think they're going to dip their toe in that water, which is unfortunate. Because the market just dictated JDM. I mean, what happened with Hot Wheels and the way that collectors reacted to the Datsun 510, it forced Greenlight and M2 to go out and obtain that licensing so that they could put those cars out. It literally forced them to do that. And I'm glad that it did, because, you know, you want to stay competitive. You want, you know, you're making cars for the collectors. And I think most collectors, myself included, I've got enough Mustangs, I've got enough Chevelles, I've got enough Camaros. I want to find old Skylines. I want to find old Nissan Zs. I want to find old Porsches. I want to find old Ferraris. You know, and there's just not a lot of it out there. So hopefully Greenlight and M2 obtaining the Auto Japan licensing is just the beginning. Hopefully we'll see some German stuff. I know that they both have Volkswagen, but I'd really like to see some Porsche licensing, some Mercedes licensing, and a lot of the other European and Italian brands. Kyosho does a great job with their tooling catalog is pretty broad. They've got probably actually one of the best tooling catalogs out there. They do everything from vintage JDM stuff like these Skylines to Porsche, to even like modern Toyotas. They've got Mercedes licensing. I've got a couple of those. They even have Bentley licensing. So Kyosho definitely is crushing it as far as that goes. I'm going to show you guys, since I'm talking about it, and I know a lot of you have already seen this, and I know the lighting's not going to be great. But when I talk about the Kyosho tooling catalog, that silver Porsche is a Kyosho, so that's something that they've done. They've done a line of Porsche cars. There's another Skyline made by Kyosho. I've got here another Porsche that is really hard to see, but the detail on that thing is incredible. That is also Kyosho. But they also do cars like this, which is a 1:64 scale Bentley, and it's just amazing. To buy one of those is about $25 to $30 though. But I think there's a nice Aston Martin Kyosho license tooling. There's their Bentley Continental. And then there's an Alfa Romeo from Kyosho. So they do a lot of stuff. They have a lot of different brands licensed. Volkswagen. There's a Lexus IS. It's actually a Toyota Altezza. They've got some really nice Mazda licensing here with the RX-8. More Honda, Toyota, Lotus, Audi. And then the Mercedes that I was talking about are right here. The G-Wagon. So Kyosho does a great job with their tooling licensing. There's that black R33. So that's why I think I would give them the advantage when it comes to that. Johnny Lightning has a great catalog as well. They just don't specialize in execution. A lot of their stuff is really nice, but a lot of their import stuff is poorly done. Well, let me go back over here. The Johnny Acura Integra casting is okay. It's not great, but when you compare it to this Revell Integra, where is it at? Oh, right above it. To me, there's no comparison. The Revell is so much nicer. Same thing with the Honda. It's an okay tooling. It's just not great. And I don't know if any of you collectors have a Johnny Lightning R34 Skyline, but when you take that car and you compare it to a Kyosho R34, or even now a Greenlight R34, there's no comparison. The Johnny Lightning is actually a really not a great casting at all. So that's going to wrap it up. One other thing I want to talk about is this layout. I'm getting very bored with it. It's been did we move in here in the end of September? So October, November. So I've had it 2.5 months, 2 months or so. Maybe 3 actually. I don't remember. But anyways, the point is I'm very bored with it. And I've got, as I said in a video recently, I've got my second kid on the way. He's due in a week and a half, but really we're at the point now where he could come at any time. So when he enters this world of ours and I have a little bit of time off of work, I know that I'll be busy taking care of our 6-year-old and helping the wife out and that kind of stuff. But I'm hoping that as I'm off work, in between doing all of that stuff, I can work on my next layout, which is going to be a more urban layout, but I am going to try to do it modular so that I can set it next to this one. And what I was thinking is over here, connecting the road here, and then just straightening it out here. And then over here we'll have a gas station and a car dealership, or a car dealership and a gas station. And it'll be a paved road, obviously. I think there'll be a lot more pavement on it. Paved parking lots. Probably do a dirt parking lot as well. But on that one, I'll try to get some street signs, maybe even street lights. I don't know. I haven't really looked into that, but that's the plan. I've already got the buildings for it, and I've got most of the stuff to make the layout. So hopefully I can work on that. So anyways, that's it. The next video, I'm just going to show you guys some cars. And basically, they're cars you've all probably seen 100 times on the channel. But watch that video, and the first 5 cars commented, I will do a video reviewing those cars up close so that you guys can get a good look. And I think I'm going to try to do things a little bit differently with the channel. I think it's getting kind of stagnant, and I'm not happy with that. And I don't want to feel like I'm getting bored with it. So I started the Who Did It Best series. I'm going to try to do that once or twice a week. And then I'll do the Viewer's Choice is what I'll call that. So Viewer's Choice, you guys pick what you want to see, and I'll review the cars. And in the meantime, and in between those videos, I'll do videos cracking cars when I get new stuff to crack open. And then I think hopefully we'll go with that format, and we'll see if it can rejuvenate the channel a little bit, so to speak. So, but as always, thank you for all the support. I'm at 2,800. I'd love to get to 3,000 subscribers. I really appreciate all the support that I get from the viewers and all the feedback. So thank you, and I'll holler at the next video.